Hey everybody, and welcome to Q&A. My name is Bill, the company's expert, and today, let's talk salary negotiation. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this video for quite a while. I've talked a lot about salary on my YouTube channel. I've done a video for how to answer, what's your current salary? When they ask you that in a job interview. I've also done another video on how to fill in a job application when they ask you, what are your salary expectations? On an application. That's a lot different from when they ask you that in an interview. And I've done also a semi-popular video called What Are Your Salary Expectations? And it talks about how to answer that question when you're in a job interview and it's a first round job interview. Now, I've got a lot of positive feedback for that video, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you very much if you left a comment and you were saying something nice. I got a lot of those. That's great. But it's interesting because there were hundreds of people that commented that also, it seems they kind of didn't really understand what I was saying, and I'd like to clarify that. There were hundreds of people that basically said the same thing, and they said, number one, you do realize that there are websites out there that give salary information for jobs. You know, you type in the position and they'll give you a salary range for it. Yes, obviously I know those are out there. Websites like Glassdoor, like PayScale, there's a ton of others. These websites, they're pretty good for giving semi-accurate information. Sometimes they're bang on, sometimes they're completely inaccurate, and a lot of times they're kind of in the ballpark. Yes, definitely, there are those out there. This is something that I highly recommend that everybody should do before they even apply for a job. Okay, you should know this. Now, knowing that range is not necessarily what I would recommend you say in a job interview when they ask you that question, and we're going to get into that in a moment. The other comment that I got for that video was a lot of people said, you know, this idea of giving a range, I think it's stupid, because if I say I'll be happy with anything between 40 and 100, the problem is they're going to offer me 40, right? And that's all it'll pay. And that's probably going to be too little. So what's the point of me, you know, going through all these job interviews for a job that's going to end up paying me too little money in the end? It's a waste of time. Okay, excellent point. However, and there are a lot of jobs that will probably be the case, okay? Just as there are a lot of jobs that only have one round of interviews. You go to one interview, and at the end of it, they say you got the job, and that's it, right? But first of all, often that's not how it works, okay? Secondly, a lot of jobs have multiple rounds of job interviews, especially anything like a professional position or anything to do with management. You usually have multiple rounds of job interviews, usually 3 rounds, okay? The first round is the elimination round, right? Where we look for obvious red flags, we get rid of those people. And then the second round, that's where we get to really know these candidates. Let's get in deeper and get to know them. And then the third round is usually a short list of candidates, often 3, and that's their final selection, and then they make a choice from there. Now, the thing about the range thing, there's 2 concepts here that are very important if you're going to be applying for a role that has multiple rounds of job interviews, okay? The first one is negotiation, okay? Negotiation is a huge topic. It's very hard for me to explain it in 2 minutes. In the future, I'd like to do a series of videos explaining negotiation because it's a really cool topic, but it's quite complicated. But I'm just going to give you sort of the cliff notes here, okay? I'm going to talk about that later. The second thing, okay, is that let me illustrate with an example. Anyone who's ever participated in an auction, like on eBay or something like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's say you want to bid on an item, okay? And this is a fabulous item, something that you really want to have. And between you and me, you're prepared to pay up to, let's say, $100 for that item, okay? But let's pretend that right now you're still a couple of days away from the bid closing, and the current bid is at $10. Okay? Now, do you bid $100 right now? Most people would say no, because what you will instead you will bid just a little bit higher than the current bid. Okay? And an even better strategy is to wait to the very end, and then there's only seconds left, then you put in a bid that's a little bit higher. Okay? That works too. But the reason you do this is because although you are prepared to pay $100, there's still a chance you could get this item for, say, $20. So if you could have gotten it for $20, it would be kind of stupid to pay $100 for it when that wasn't necessary. You just wasted $80, right? Okay? That's the concept with recruiters. Okay? Recruiters have a couple of different priorities. One of them is to find the talent. Another one is to find the talent for cheap. Okay? And this is exactly what they're trying to do. What they're looking for is they're looking for a candidate who has the talent, is a good candidate, but also will be happy and satisfied and even delighted with a little bit of money, not the maximum amount of money. They're hoping to get that candidate for $20, not $100, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So for that reason, when you give a range in round one, okay, you say really low to really high. What it does is it allows you to get past the gatekeeper in the first round, so they can't eliminate you, okay? And then later on, when you say, I'd like more money, you're not actually going back on anything you said previously, because you did give a range, and the range did go up quite high. It's just that it started quite low, okay? This is the strategic reason for doing this, okay? Now, we talked about negotiation, that it's complicated. The only thing you need to know about negotiation here is that negotiation is not persuasion, okay? A lot of people make this mistake. A lot of people think that negotiation is persuasion, and they whine. They say, come on, I'll be your best friend, just give me more money, right? And they think that's negotiation. That's not negotiation. I don't know what that is. If that works, it's persuasion, if anything, but it's not negotiation. Negotiation it's all about you. It's not about the other person. It's about you having options and alternatives, and you knowing that, okay, I'm going to pay up to $100. At $100, it no longer makes sense for me, and I have alternatives I could do. Okay? You have power. You have knowledge of yourself. You have alternate options. And you know exactly what you're walking into. Okay? As I said, it's complicated. I'll do a string of videos maybe in the future if people want that. But the thing is, at the beginning of the job interview process, you have no power. You have nothing to negotiate with. If you try and demand more money, they'll just eliminate you. So the way to get past the initial stages to the point where they start looking at you look deeper, and they start seeing your value, and they start falling in love with you, and then they say, that's the candidate that we want, right? Now that they've gotten to know you. And if you're lucky and you get to the final round and you get selected, they've basically said, you're the one we want, right? That's the one we want, okay? That's the item that they're looking for, right? They're prepared to pay up to $100 for it, right? Right now, the bid is at 10 or 20, somewhere in there. Okay? So, the only time you can really negotiate from a position resembling power is after they've gone through a long and expensive hiring process. They've concluded that you're the one they want, okay? And they realize that if you turn down their offer, that means they've either got to start from scratch again, or they've got to start calling in the runner-ups that they've already decided aren't as good. Now, both of those options cause them pain, okay? And they want to avoid pain. And if paying you a little bit more money so you accept is what they have to do, especially when you're nowhere near $100, okay? That's what they'll do. So, one quick and easy way to negotiate salary is you wait. You wait until you get the offer. You've gone in under the radar. You've gotten past all the, the elimination round. They've gotten to know you. They see your value now. They want you. They make you an offer. And what you do, okay, at least, there's many ways to do this, but one way that tends to work is when they give you your offer, you can either do this face-to-face or you can get on the phone to them. And you say, okay, I see. Okay, I got your offer. I see what you're offering now. I really was hoping for more vacation. You gave me, 2 weeks. I would like 4. I'm used to 4. I see here that, I have to work holidays. I have to work shift work, as required. I've got to do this, that. That's kind of that's a bit more than what I was expecting to do, but okay, I'll give you that too. It's a couple of things I've given you because I'm excited about this job. I'd really like to do this job. Oh, and it says, these are my duties also. I also have to do this. Oh, I hadn't planned for that. Okay, I see. Okay, you know what? I'll give you that too. Now, this base salary number, if you can just change that from this, you can just add another 10, another 20, another 30, whatever it is. If you could just add a little bit to that, we got a deal and I can start tomorrow. Okay, that's usually that's one way to do it that tends to work. You give them a bunch of stuff. You say, okay, I'll let you have this, I'll let you have that, I'll let you have that, but you got to give me this. You give me that, we got a deal. I can start whenever you want. Okay, you make it easy for them, right? You show that you're giving them something, right? And they want this to work, okay? They want this to work. You can come up with reasons to justify it if you wish. Sometimes that helps. It doesn't technically matter if you have a reason or not, as long as you're serious about, what you want. But that's one way of doing it. And the important takeaway here is that you wait until you get an offer to negotiate. Okay, there's no point in trying to negotiate, before you even have an offer. They'll just eliminate you, right? You have no power. They got other alternatives. They haven't even decided that you're the one, right? So all that does is it disqualifies you, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. This is a very complicated topic. It would take a series of videos to really get into this and understand all the nuances of it and why you do certain things. But hopefully that is a quick answer to a lot of people. I just want to say that I want to thank my Patreon of the week, which is Michael Walbridge. I've mentioned him before. Thank you very much to Michael, and thank you to everybody who's been watching this, especially you. I got my eye on you. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. It's like a philosophical question. If a YouTuber makes a video and nobody watches it, is he really a YouTuber? That's pretty deep. Anyway, thank you very much. Have yourselves a great week, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.